the one time we're early, it'll make up for next time when we're late. So, welcome to Still
Yeah.
Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy. I'm joined by Master Distiller Sean Rigsby, and we got another Master Distiller with us tonight, Master Distiller Tater.
That's
It's
right.
an
Hey, guys.
honor. It's an honor. You better move over, Sean. Sean's a big man tonight, so
Hey, I'm always moved over, man.
it's an honor to have you, Tater.
Yeah.
Tater was on Applejack, if I'm right. What season was that, Sean?
Oh, you mean Tater? I don't know.
It's
I figured
It
you'd
was season
know. I figured you had a little homework, Sean, and knew. So I thought you had my back on that question, man.
Man, it was after me.
All right, so we're
he,
not
he
going to
just,
ask.
he just Sean's just wanting you to ask me, that way he don't get in trouble for telling stuff that he don't know for sure.
Sean does
There
tell
ain't
a lot
much
of
I
stuff
do
you
know.
don't know. Yeah, say there ain't much. So.
Hey, you ever heard that saying, fake it till you make it, right? I'm
Well,
still
that's
faking.
what I'm doing. Yeah,
I do it every day.
I got all my recipes off of watching movies.
There you go. So Tater, what was it? You said you made Applejack?
Yes, sir.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we,
Go ahead, Easy.
All right, we always start the show. What you drinking on? What you drinking on, Sean? Let's see them Busch Light Apple. Let's see it. Yep, knew it was a Busch Light Apple.
And while I'm waiting,
And some Mark Rogers Peach Sugarlands.
what's that? Pepsi?
I got
Smart
Pepsi.
man.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I don't drink.
Yeah,
I drink about 3 times, maybe 4 years.
There you go.
If I go too hard during the podcast, it's going to be a rough Monday, so I got to keep it light. So,
Yeah.
I'm drinking on some of my TikTok buddies' old Moonshiner Chad strawberry.
Strawberry brandy?
It's corn strawberry flavored after.
Oh.
It's a corn base.
Okay.
I'm not sure his
Yeah.
build, but it's sweet. It's delicious. So
Nice.
Well, that's all that matters, as long as you like it.
Yeah.
If it ain't no sense, you can't drink it.
That's right.
What do you want to know?
Shit, all kinds of stuff. So you say you done Applejack, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
And
I
now
did.
is that something that you have you frequently do, or are you just a brandy man, or what's kind of the?
Well, I learned how to make brandies, from a buddy of my dad's, and Applejack. He'd make it when in the wintertime sometime. Whenever it get cold enough. Of course, we used a little bit faster process in the show, but I kind of watched him. That's how I learned how to do everything really that I do. He's dead and gone, so I can talk about it, But he used a lot of apples. Of course, we've got a crap load of orchards around here, and about everybody's got an apple tree in their yard, So that's was the frequent thing back then. And that's where I picked the recipe up at, and that's pretty much the way I done it on the show. But he mostly done brandies, but like I said, he'd do that if it got cold enough in the wintertime.
Yeah.
it gets cold enough here every winter.
Well, see, that's the thing. See, that's really a northern thing.
Yeah.
That's from y'all on up, hell, it gets cold as shit.
Yeah. It
So
does.
you'll have 2-3 weeks worth of freezing, and down here you'll be lucky if you get 3 days sometime. In a row.
Man, that'd be rough.
Can't do it.
I don't know what I'd do if it was only a
but
couple
in
weeks,
all
several
honesty-
months. So, when did you apply did you apply for the show, or did they contact you?
No, I applied for the show through Facebook,
Nice.
and went on there. I never, I've got friends that does, it's on the show or whatever, but I never let none of them know nothing about it till the day I pulled up down.
Nice.
And it really surprised the shit out of them. They said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm filming." And they said, "What?" And I said, "I'm filming Master Distiller." They said, "No, you ain't." I said, "Hell yeah, I am too." So, we done went on. But, and then they was really surprised whenever it was as good as what it was.
What, the Applejack or?
But like I said, I watched. Well, just the turnout of the brandy, because see, after we made the Applejack's technically just still beer, or your mash beer, and you freeze it. So if you ain't got that worked off real good, Jens knows as well as anybody else does. If it's not worked off good and you drink it, you know what the hell it'll do to you. I mean, it'll tear you guts up.
Yeah, well.
So.
Shit through the screen door.
That's
yeah, you're gonna be running the bathroom all night.
So we got to distill it, thank God, and it turned out pretty good brand. I mean, everybody on the show done good. I mean, Ivy, she's kick ass. I mean, Ivy is damn good on the show. I'd like to see her get somewhere where she could really make liquor. She'd be awesome. It tickled me to death to see her go on with it. And then John done all right. I mean, but it turned out better to me to have the brandy out of it than just to have the actual Applejack that we made. I mean, to me, that's safer on your body and everything. Not saying that it's bad for you. It ain't going to kill you, but it'll make you think you're dying. If you drink beer.
Get it wrong once, and you're gonna be
well.
Get
it wrong once, you don't have to yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what you went on the show to do was make liquor, not Applejack. Really, I mean.
Yeah, technically.
But so, what is what's your what do you prefer to make over everything?
Well, the stuff that I've made, on the show, basically about all I've ever really done. But I prefer, brandy. I really do. I love making apple brandy on there.
Okay.
The corn I did on the Tournament of Champions, it turned out real good. And I also used the same guy's recipe on it because we just had 3 days to mash it.
Yeah. So for everybody listening, Tater was also on Master Distiller for a second time in the Tournament of Champions. Me personally, I thought he should have won, but we'll save that for a separate show. But tell us about competing in the Masters tournament.
It was all right too. But the corn, I was back to the corn that I made in it. It was probably some of the best corn liquor that I'd ever made as far as tasting it. And it worked off in 3 days is all we had. And I run, I believe I put 15 gallon, maybe 17 gallon in the still. And I got like 17 quart of liquor out of it in 3 days. So, it turned out real good.
I was watching that episode earlier, and I was jar after jar after, like a machine. It's like, hey, oh, you can tell Tater knows what he's doing in that old school setup.
Well,
so, I remember.
How'd you like running them jars?
How'd you like building that jar setup?
I hate sorting. I didn't say I couldn't do it. I did not. I can do it. I can do about any damn thing. But as far as ever using the jar rig, it just ain't my forte.
Yeah,
it ain't my way of going. Hey, you all use it. Sean uses them. A lot of people do, and they like them. It's just something else in the way. If you're, to me, something you have to, because you got to be delicate with them, and out if a body was to be out and about, it's kind of hard to keep delicate shit safe out in the woods and in the mountains.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to keep delicate shit safe anywhere. I just give me a pot thumper and a worm, man. I don't need glass. I don't even like jars because I break them. So I'm definitely
Dad always told
kind of
me I
shop.
could tire. Yeah,
my
dad always told me that. My old man always told me that I could tire up a damn steel lamb. So if you can tire up one of them, you can really screw some stuff up quick.
So is moonshining, is that something that's in your family, or I mean, like, as far as growing up, did your dad do it? Your grandpa do
it? No, Dad hustled a lot of it, sold a lot of it. I mean, he's dead. I can talk about it. And I was around it with some of his friends. But now, hell, everybody in this part of the country, I don't give a shit who they are. So, somebody in their family, at one point or the other, has made liquor, bought liquor, or resold liquor. They ain't no other way they could have lived, survived, and had anything. And the ones that says they didn't, is damn liar. Because there's somebody in their family that's full with liquor at some point or another.
Yeah.
But now I had distant cousins that lived over in Cosby and, the upper part of Sevier County. And they's pretty notorious for making quite a bit of liquor. And, it was a big name family in the Cosby area at the time, Of course, like I said, there's distant cousins. And then my mother's father, he was pretty notorious for making liquor in Sevier County. But, that's just the way people had to do. I mean, hell, there ain't nothing wrong with it. They trying to survive and take care of their damn family.
Yep. It's like, it's a heritage, It's not, a lot of people think it as, he's just doing something illegal because he wants to do it. Well, no, not really. Maybe in a place like New York, where some dude's like, hey, I'm going to do this. This is cool. But, down there where you're at, it's more of it's a heritage.
Yeah, to me, it's no different than a businessman working a 9-to-5 job. He's working to feed his family. It's just there's a different ways of going about it, and for it to be illegal, that's a term used by a 3-letter organization. And in the end, we should be allowed to do what we want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you pay tax on everything from the sugar to the corn to everything until you mix it together, heat it up in the pot, and all of a sudden it's illegal.
Yeah, that's a fact, and they do pay the taxes on it, the ones that make it, and they pay a lot of damn taxes. And I don't know, hell, it is what it is. It's about all we can make out of it, I hope that everybody that's making it can get by with it forever. But, you can't.
Yep.
So what do so you like to make apple brandy, and did and so Applejack fell in line for you. So it seems like you knew what you was doing going in, and you ran with that, and so it couldn't have, it's always nice when you get to do something you enjoy or work with an ingredient that you enjoy, and you show like, hey, this is what I do. And then, you win, and they get you to come back. Did you have any challenges with your grain or your corn on the Masters tournament?
Like the 3-day ferment?
Well, no, not to me. No, not really. Just normal. I mean, everything went fine for me. Mine was working plumb out.
Do you mind me asking?
It may have been.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
I was gonna say, do you mind me asking what kind of yeast you used?
It's gonna lie.
Bread yeast?
Just throw off on me whenever.
Bread yeast or
what
turbo
did you
yeast?
Say?
Bread yeast?
I use bread yeast. Yeah, bread.
My man, that's what I use too.
Regular plain plastic.
Nice.
Okay. Yep.
But now I've got a process with mine too that I don't tell nobody. So there's different ways of using yeast. Some people calls it zombie yeast whenever I use it. But
zombie
it works.
yeast?
It don't matter. Yeah, that's what they was calling it behind the scenes. But they heard part of the process, but they didn't hear all of it. But that's a secret that I was learned from another feller as well. And hell, it worked, so I ain't gonna argue with it.
You know, we all got our secrets on certain things that we will not give out, and it's like, look, man, I can't tell you that. I can tell you everything else, but I can't tell you that part. It's just that's mine for now. You'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
But that's mine for now.
When I was filming, I used bread yeast as well. It was SAF instant bread yeast. We get it up here at Gordon Food Services, and I wasn't concerned at all. I dumped that shit in there and just like running any other time, and that shit was zeroed out in about 4 days. We still had a few things floating on top, but it was more than ready to run.
Yeah. But now, Sean, you didn't fall as fortunate as I did into what you really do on it, did you?
I what?
As far as whenever you got on Master Distillers, you didn't fall into, like I did with Applejack and Apple Brandy. You fell into something totally different, didn't you?
Yeah. I've never fucked with vodka a day of my life. So I mean, I was hoping I was going to get a brandy, but when Jake called, he goes, "Hey, can you be down here?" I said, "Well," and he goes, "Well," I said, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "Well, how you feel about making vodka?" I was like, "Well, I guess if that's how I'm going to get on there, then I'm going to figure it out somehow."
If I'm a master, I'm going to make anything, so let's get it.
Shit. You're never a master of nothing. You just
No. I'm the same Tater as I was the day I popped gravel pulling in down there to film. I don't give a shit what. I'm the same guy then as I am now, and vice versa. I don't never change.
That's right.
I don't think I ain't no better than anybody else in the world.
So when's your liquor coming out?
I don't know. I hadn't heard. You when's yours?
It's a good comeback right there. I was waiting for that. I knew it was coming. So.
I've heard December.
Well, maybe yours will. I hope yours comes out before mine because I don't want to hear you.
Now, what if season 3 comes out before season 2, just out of spite?
I'll be down there. I'll be down there standing with him, signing autographs. Like, you'll get mine one of these days.
Hey, who are you?
Right.
I'm just glad that we wasn't in the backyard betting and they'd helped me up this long on it. That's all I'm glad of. Because we've been in the backyard betting on the ball game or something, it'd be a different situation, I think.
Is it? Will you turn it off?
Sean's got to go chase the goats again. Sean's got to chase the goats again. Sean chases goats every other day.
I put them
get out of the pen. He chases them around the yard.
Hey, I've got a thing. I've got something for them goats.
Do you? A hog?
Yeah. No, I've got a big smoker like you pull behind the truck. We can put some of them on there and you won't have to chase as many.
Bring it up.
Barbecue at Sean's house. Let's have a good time.
I used to have goats and I got rid of them. I didn't like running. I'd ram. You can run a pig down. You can't run a damn goat down.
That and they'll jump and everything else.
I ain't running nothing down. So.
Yeah.
So how long you been shining? About what age did you actually, pick up the craft yourself and started just, running on your own?
Well, hell, I guess that's 51 whenever we filmed that first show. That was the first time I ever made any. But I was introduced to it probably 12, 13 year old, by that buddy of my dad.
So what's your go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're the man.
Shit. You're the guest, man. You keep on going.
Yeah, you just talking and we're listening, man.
That's right.
I don't even know where
you're the master here.
I ain't master shit. No, I ain't. Just go ahead there. Tell me what you want to know.
Master Bader.
No.
Oh, no. Sean's tipping the jar. He's going to be drunk.
I have to clean Papa up there.
Yeah, I have to get his dad.
He can't get out of his own way.
Rick Gibson will put it on you, man. You better know your spot, Sean.
Yeah, while I'm learning that spot, Tater, did you see where he had sent that still to that still to California over there to was it Beaver Liquors, and he soldered the union together?
It wouldn't stop leaking, man. Really?
So he soldered the union, did he?
It wouldn't stop leaking.
Well, that would be he made a true union out of it, didn't he? It was united, but
he's well, I couldn't get it to seal up. I'm like, well, I guess that's a good way of doing that.
I mean, if Rick Gibson done it, it was spot on and necessary.
Yeah, you damn right.
Until Chris went to move it.
That's what everybody's packing solder in their unions now. So
that's the only way to do it now, I guess.
It is.
Now, that's that bolt. The union's the bolt that twists the two pipes together, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he probably did have to solder.
What? So speaking of stills, what's your favorite size still to run?
Well, if you're going to do anything, might as well to do it and get it the hell over with. You know what I mean? If I had one and was going to run it, I'd probably run a 150 or bigger. Hell, ain't no use fucking around with it.
Right, like, make it worth your time doing if you're going to do it. So,
yeah, you run a one barrel still, and you have to run it, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, why run 50? Why run a 50-gallon when you could run a 150?
And I'd say, I don't know, but I'd say if you had one set up right, and was used to running it, and I mean set up right, with the right size worm and all your pipes right, if you know how to fix that, you could probably run the big still in the same amount of time as you do that lift. If I was guessing, if you had it set up right to where it flowed good and didn't hold up a bunch of pressure, and you had a good worm where you keep it good and cool.
Yeah.
You could rock and roll one. I'm thinking if you keep your worm good and cool, you can rock and roll one and it won't make your liquor hot. That's what I think. Now that's just my theory on it. Because everybody hollers, let it trickle, but
no.
My opinion is if you get your worm cool, that's where your liquor's getting made at.
Yeah.
That's my, okay, if that's cool enough, that temperature ain't going to be bothering that. and your alcohol will rest back down by the time it turns into a liquid and comes out the end of your worm. But now I ain't a talking having no 5 foot 1/4 inch worm either. You
right,
know,
you're talking like a
you gotta
60
have
foot. Yeah.
at 60 or
60.
better.
Yep.
Have 1 inch, you know, on a bigger rig. They ain't no use playing around with it. And hell, even on the 30, even on the 30 or 40, you know, hell, you need a 3/4 ID. I'd figure. I don't know, but I'm just guessing that you'd want a 3/4 with as many coals in it and water as you could get as well. You know,
Yeah,
on
that's
the
one thing
regular
about a
pot
worm.
deal.
I feel like with worms, you can always go. You can always go bigger, but you can't go smaller. You know what I mean?
They
You
can
can't
never
go
be
too
too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be too big.
And of course, you know, the bigger it is, the more surface area you got for it to cool down on whenever it hits through the water. That's what I guess. And you know, you ain't got all that damn pressure in there because hell, it it blow up. You know, if you get too much shit in that pressure,
Yeah, I guess that'd be
the
the good thing about having a paste cap, it wouldn't it, instead of a clamp. So that
well,
back pressure.
in my opinion, yeah, the clamps look nice and everything. They're great, and you have to have them in certain situations. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, say out wherever, if you've got that paste in there and it does build up too much pressure, it's going to push that cap out. It's going to lift it up. Okay. If you've got that clamped off, if you got it clamped off, it ain't going to do that. It's going to blow out at its weakest point, and it'll find it. So it could be in your seam of your pot. It could be in the seam of your cap. It could be in the seam of your arm or wherever, you know, and it could get deadly. I mean, it's catch-22 there. You got different situations where it would work better one way or the other. But to me, the paste is safe.
So do you prefer to run with the thumper, or do you prefer to double back everything you run?
Why would you run something twice?
Man,
that's my thought too.
If you run it twice, you're stripping it. Okay, if you've got to strip it, you shouldn't run it through the first time. You should have thrown it in the damn creek and went on and got something that's fitting to drink.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not lying.
Unless you're trying to jack your proof up, you know, for some ungodly reason. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you know, because anybody, I mean, yeah, people holler 150, 190 bullshit. You can't drink that damn stuff; it'll kill you. I mean, 90 proof is all anybody needs.
Yeah, that's what I like my brandy at, is 90 proof.
Well, even corn liquor or whatever, it don't need to be over 90 proof, because you get into poisoning yourself and your body, and you feel like shit for 2 or 3 days, or it makes you go crazy and want to fight everybody. You know, at 90 proof, you ain't gonna really hurt yourself if you drink 3/4 of a jolt. You get as drunk as you really need to be. I mean, honestly, hell, once you get so drunk, and yours has been there, why get any drunk? I mean, you already can't fucking walk, can't talk, you can't think right. Why get so damn drunk that you can't do nothing?
And when I can't think right, that's when I start tipping it harder, because I can't tell myself no, and then it's over the top, and I'm out back sleeping with the dogs.
Well, that right there is a perfect example of why it should be at 90.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you ain't gonna poison your damn self with it. Whereas if you're at 120 or above and you drink like that, you can poison your damn self and you wake up dead. You know.
Yeah. And your night lasts a lot longer at 92. You know, you can, because it takes longer to get to that point, so your night's a lot longer. So
Well, that's why a lot of people like that apple pie and shit too. You know, you can drink a half a quart of it and still walk.
Yeah, with no problem because it's usually around
Some
40.
some, some people's you can,
So
So, do you like to
some
make apple
people.
pie or anything like that?
I've made it before, yeah. Whenever I was a teenager and stuff, we used to make stuff to take to the movie theater to drink. Of course, we had drive-ins down here, and we could go. That was our party spot, whenever we was young.
Yeah.
We'd use grape juice and Everclear, mix it in a big 5-gallon bucket, and stick it down in a tote full of ice, and hell, we'd back the truck up, and everybody come get their cups, and we'd drink like hell. And of
Man.
course, we done apple the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a bad experience with Everclear, so I try to stay away from that.
Well, teenagers will be teenagers.
yeah, it got me a couple times when I was a teenager. That's for sure.
Yeah, you just had to know what liquor store to buy the Everclear at.
Yeah.
We always had somebody go over to Indiana and they'd get the 190 proof and bring it back, and
Yeah.
that's really all I remember about those weekends.
A lot of times ours would show up in a mason jar, though. I don't know if they rebottled it or what, but it would show up in a half a gallon jar then. But that was back in. Hell, it don't matter.
Yeah, back then I'd drink anything. Anything. It doesn't matter. So do you have any?
What's the next question?
Any aspirations of owning a distillery, working for a distillery, or anything like that?
Well, I've got a project going with one guy that owns a distillery. We're talking maybe out in December getting together with something and
oh, you must be
seeing what
talking
we
about
can
Sugarlands.
No, another good friend I've met over the last little while, but we're going to see how it goes, and see what we can do to bounce around with it.
Awesome.
And then too, I've got another good friend that we've been bouncing around the thought of maybe opening a distillery of our own. We don't know yet. We're just bouncing it around. It may be 2 years before we do it, but it seemed like a good project to be in from what we've got planned up so far with it.
And I would say
but like I said, it'll be a minute.
The name would probably take you a little ways too. Being on the show and all that. Tater, being Master Distiller,
I don't know. It depends on how you market it. Really wasn't going to market it like we're just going to, we're talking, maybe a small mom and pops type operation, nothing big and flashy or fancy or nothing like that,
And if you wanted to grow into something bigger, you'd probably be able to with a small place like that.
Well, you could, or, offer a higher end quality product versus, what may or may not be out.
High quality small batch.
Yeah. Well, to their standards, a small batch, but probably run a pretty good size still. At least 5 barrel. 10 barrel.
Just something small,
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna start a distillery, you might as well start at least 300. Yeah. How many times have they ran that?
I don't have no idea, Sean. I don't know. I went and looked at it the other day. We done the Richard Petty thing, and we was out there and seen it. That was the first time I'd ever saw it. It's enormous. I mean, it's an awesome thing. And they've got a heck of a good setup, but I was busy shooting the shit and taking pictures and shaking hands. I didn't really pay attention to all the the statistics that they was telling about it.
Taking pictures and shaking hands.
Yeah.
You're what's that? I call Jerry Hollywood. Oh wait, you were on the main. You're Hollywood now.
No,
I was gonna say that, but you were actually on the main show. I don't know a lot of people know that or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on there too earlier. You know, the year before I done Master Distiller.
Yep. So do you still have? Is it Luther?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's fat and sassy. I just got done giving him a shower there right at dark, so he likes me to spray him down every day, and I feed him good, and he's got a hell of a good life. I cut him weeds all the time, feed him. I ain't given him no more mayonnaise yet though, and I don't believe he wants it. So you know.
How big is?
He's pushing. If I'd let him eat like he'd want to eat, I keep him cut back. But if I'd let him eat his potential, he'd probably stay around 750 or 800 pounds. But he's better off. He's better off down around in the 60s because it don't hurt his feet as bad up here in the mountains and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But he eats better than I do.
And in case anybody wonders what they're talking about Tater's big old hog. And one of the episodes, did Mark and Digger bring some mayonnaise and fed it to the hog?
Yeah, they had a bunch. Yeah, they was eating jars is what it was, I reckon, and they brought me mayonnaise and I emptied it out and fed it to him.
He was happier than a pig in shit, wasn't he?
Well, he's a pig in head and egg whites, I guess. I tell you what, that son of a bitch wouldn't worm me for a while. I'd go up there and he'd look at me like, "Why, Dad? Why?"
What'd you do that to me for, man? Like, I didn't do nothing wrong to you.
So did he get? Go ahead.
I was going to say it's like back whenever kids, you know, back in the 50s and 60s, they'd lay out of school, they'd give them that castor oil, you know, to make sure if they're sick, whether they're sick or not, you know. And I reckon the way everybody talked, it was worse than mayonnaise would be on the pig. So that's about how he was looking at me, like a kid had been scolded, you know.
Hell yeah, he probably eats so much like that. That way he can keep himself out of from getting roasted.
Well, he'll die of old age. Of course, he's going to die of old age anyway. He was my number one brood pig before all that come about. I'd probably raised 500 or 600 pigs off him and sold them over the amount of time. Hell, he's about 11 years old. He's lived a long age for a pig.
Yeah.
But I can get in there by myself with him. I can pet him just like petting a dog. He ain't a bit mean or aggressive in any way. You know, he's a good old boy.
So is that the only animal you got as far as dogs, or you just?
No, I've got 9 dogs. I've got
9 dogs.
I raise them. Yeah, I raise them and hunt with them. I squirrel hunt and coon hunt a lot. I got me some new cur dogs just recently from a guy up in Kentucky that I'm really looking forward to trying out. Actually, they're the first papered dogs I've ever owned in my life. But I'm going to try to get them trained up and do a little competition squirrel hunt.
There you go. So do you do have you hunted any bear or anything like that down there?
Yeah, occasionally we do. We've been known to eat good.
Right?
me and that bearded brother of mine don't get our bellies from not eating good. That's all I'm gonna say.
You'll have that.
Yeah.
But so when you do a lot of your brandy, do you only use fresh fruit, use canned fruit, frozen fruit, or is that something you care to talk on? Or
Well, if I was gonna make it, hell, just like everybody else, fresh fruit's always best. But in turn, if you're a true moonshine, if you really backwoods and by God what you say you are, you can take any kind of fruit and you can make liquor out of it.
yeah,
I don't give a damn who you are. But now, some people tell you this, they tell you that, whatever. But if you know your shit, you can make it out of either kind of fruit. You can take dried fruit and make brandy out of it. If you want to take the time and the brain set and do it,
Yep.
But
I know there's a lot of people that seem to make it into a science. And that's, to me, that's one thing that I've, when people really want to learn, I always tell them, I'm like, don't keep it simple, man. That way when you learn simple shit, and then from there you can make changes.
Yeah, but in turn, if just say you don't have a background in this shit, you didn't grow up in it, it ain't just a second thought to you. Okay, you do need to be educated so you don't hurt yourself. You do need to be educated of what you're doing as far as if you're making a vodka, you need to know how to make a damn vodka. You don't need to know how to make moonshine to try to make a vodka. If you want to make a brandy, you don't need to know how to make vodka. And, there's a difference in whiskeys, and you need to know the logistics and the statistics of each one of them to be able to make what you're saying you're making. Say you're making rum, you need to know all the parts of it. A bourbon, you need to make all the parts of it. That way you don't get misconstrued in your thing.
Well, it's funny that
you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny that you say that, because not too long ago, we were somewhere and this guy pulled out, I don't know, like 4 or 5 jars, and they all tasted the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one of them was peach brandy. I can't remember. One was sugar shine, I think. One was corn, but they all tasted the same.
You know why? Do you know?
I don't know.
It could have been.
Was it? I'm guessing he was trying to infuse.
There was a guy talking with me here.
Go ahead.
If he wasn't doing that, if he wasn't doing that, it would be the iron skillet there. Whatever you run the most in that steel,
like
is what that's going to taste like.
That's the same thing.
There was a guy and me had this conversation one day, I believe, over the phone, if he can remember right. And yes, by golly, it does season in. That's why you need a brandy pot and you need a liquor pot, because if you don't, you one or the other's going to override it. And it don't matter how much you clean it with vinegar. If you use a citric acid or what the hell ever you use, you throw it mash in there, it's still going to taste like it.
Yep. And especially if the mash is weak, you don't use enough fruit or whatever else in there,
Oh, yep. Sean's got a buddy that he's having that problem with his vodka. He's trying to run vodka through his pot still, and it's picking up his tequila flavor, and he can't get past it. So he's trying to fix that, So your pot will get seasoned.
I believe me and the guy had that same conversation. I can't remember who he was. But anyway,
he must have been a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that piece of shit passed that info along to me. He told me about it right after. Like, hey man, and I'm like, dude, that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But now I'll guarantee you, the guy that I was talking to was a very intelligent man.
Yes, he
He
was.
must not be on here.
You know, I have been known to bullshit a little bit. I will not lie, but I may bullshit the conversation.
Just a little. We thrive on that around here. You know, there's lots of bullshitting going on. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good time. There's lots of valuable info in there though, but it's definitely a good time.
So do you go ahead?
How do you know Sean? Like, how'd you guys meet? How do you know?
Was it
TikTok?
TikTok, Facebook, or something like that?
TikTok. You was on there with that that fella that used to live in Merville. I forget what his name is. That little short fella.
Oh,
I believe
Dick
he lives
Gibson.
in Georgia now.
Oh, Dick Gibson.
Yeah. Papaw. That's it. It's Papaw.
Oh, Papaw.
But yeah, you was on there and I popped on there and you said, "Who the fuck is Hillbilly Hog?" And he said, "That's Tater." He said, "Who the fuck Tater?"
Daniel's buddy.
He said, "You better watch who you're talking about." He said, "You better watch who you're talking about."
So do you run over a coon pecker or?
No, mine's totally dick free.
Dick free,
man.
Yeah. I wouldn't want one in my mouth. I ain't gonna put it in nobody else's mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now also, you know, if you was running a big enough still, you could use a hog tusk and you could flavor it pork as it come out. Of course, you know you can't go wrong with pork.
So the question is,
what would you rather use? A hog tusk or would you use a coon pecker? I'd use a hog tusk.
There you go. So you got any plans of being? Well, I can't ask you that. No, I can't ask you that.
Sean's thinking. Everybody, hold on.
Yep, just hold on.
Wait
a minute.
Hey, you see that? There's steam coming out from them headphones. Look, get up there close to the camera, Sean.
They're gonna melt to his head here in just a second.
If I get close to the camera, I'm gonna break it.
Here in just a second. So,
so to you, is moonshining a seasonal thing, or is that just TV?
Just a TV. Hell, I ain't got time to do that. I work too damn much moonshine. But no, I run my own business. I lay tile and rock and stuff, and I really don't. I don't never have no time for shit. Most of the time I work the weekends, but I've kind of took off in the last little bit.
Yeah.
I got a project caught up that I've been building money up for, and I got it accomplished, and I've kind of took off on the weekend here in the last couple of 2 or 3 and relaxed a little bit and looked around.
Yeah, you gotta take some time for yourself sometimes, man. You earned it, you know. Take it. It's there. Like that work will be there tomorrow most of the time. So
yeah. But now that up around here, that's a competitive business. If you don't get on it, there'll be somebody else knock you out of it.
What is it?
Laying tile and rock. If you get the job, you got to get on it and get it, because if you don't, there'll be another crew coming in and get it. You know, and it's a cutthroat business here. But I've got several contractors that I fool with, and they always holler, you know, as soon as they get work ready. So I stay all I want. That's pretty much it.
So are you in like the Pigeon Forge area, or like out that way, or are you actually in Maryville?
Not to quote a famous movie, but I'm a geographical oddity, Sean. I'm 30 minutes from everywhere.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm there.
I'm about 30 minutes from Sevierville. Yeah, I'm Sevierville, Cosby, Gatlinburg, Newport. I'm 20 to 30 minutes away from every one of them. I can be in Knoxville in 45 minutes.
Okay.
Alcoa in 50, 60 minutes.
In the middle of nowhere, but 30 minutes from everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's a fact, too. I mean, you can look at it on the map. You can draw a circle around where I live, and it's 30 minutes right there. And I'm about dead in the damn middle.
So, what is moonshine to you? Like when someone says liquor, moonshine, like that, what does it mean to you?
Are you talking the taste of it or just the ambiance
of the name? Yeah.
Yep. I think of moonshine. It pretty much automatically hits. With a corn based liquor. To me, it means saying I stand for what I believe in. I believe I ought to be able to make money however way I want to make money. That the outlaw theory of it. That's what's drawn 95% of the people that's making it today to make it, is because it's just a little titch. I'm breaking the law. I'm breaking the law. They ain't really trying to make a lot of money at it. They're just doing it to say that they've stuck it to the man, so to speak, at one point or the other. That's the draw. That's the draw for people wanting to drink. It's backwoods. It's the taboo, so to speak, that's always whispered about. You got to be a little secretive to get it. You got to be, you got to hide out with it. It's this, that, or the other.
Yep. I know.
And then you get into thinking about it, and then it's necessity of using up product before they go bad and making something good out of something that was going to go bad or waste. And providing for your family. I mean, that's
I
what
think,
it's all
I think you
based
see
on.
that. Yeah, I think you see that a lot where, it's there and it's going to go to waste. And it's like, man, I got to do something with this. I can't just let that go to waste. I'm going to turn that into some magics.
Well, it's just like if you have a farm stand, if you have a farm stand and something's getting ready to go bad, well, you're sitting there thinking like, well, I'm going to either have to throw this away or I can make a mash and run it off and make more money than to begin with.
I could feed this to my animals, or I could turn it into, money that I need to survive.
Yep. And what's funny is, up here in Ohio where we're at, it's still like you go somewhere and you say the word moonshine, people are like, what? You got a jar of what? It's not like it is down in Tennessee where every other house has
they're
some.
Scared. And they're scared to try it. And after they try it, and they say, well, hell, that tastes better than what I'm buying at the store. And and it's made naturally. Most people make it naturally, and that's where you get into your yuppie types and the health food driven types, because it's natural. And you can market it that way if you wanted to.
It's gluten free, man.
It's a
Drink this shine.
product.
Drink this gluten free shine. It's good for your soul. It'll get you right. It'll get you right. It might get you divorced, but it'll get you right.
Yeah. But now, if you use corn, it'll be gluten free. So if you use wheat now, it wouldn't be gluten free. So you got to think about that before you market it like that.
Does gluten transfer in distillation?
Now, do you?
I don't have no damn idea.
That's above my pay grade.
Hey,
Sean, ask that question and get back with us.
Now, do you believe in using sugar?
In sugar?
You got what? Yeah.
Do you bump with sugar, or are you just like all fruit? Just it's got to be all fruit, or do you like to bump that ABV up with a little bit of sugar and save that money on some fruit?
Bump the what? Bump the what up?
The alcohol content.
Oh, the what in the hell did he call it? APV?
ABV.
Alcohol by
ABV.
volume.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'd say you about have to, don't you?
Well, see, a lot of people, they say, well, they they convert all the starches and shit in the corn or the grain or whatever it is they use, and they don't use sugar.
Yeah.
But I think for the time that you spend
Well,
running it and what you're trying to get out of it, I think it's definitely smarter to
a
bump with sugar.
necessity. A necessity. If you're trying to turn a dollar, it would be a necessity, right?
Yep.
Okay. And if you kind of was experienced at it, you could probably still pull your fruit flavor out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We always
No.
use a little bit of sugar.
Always bump with some sugar.
Well, you know, sugar's always a good thing. I'd say it always. You know, I even put sugar on my damn cornflakes. You know, whenever I eat them, I like it like
Ain't
that.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
That's
But now, as far as the gluten transferring, I don't know about that. But now I've got a good friend that I bet you could ask and they could tell you.
I bet you it might be the same person we're thinking about. Does his first name start with an A?
Everybody watching, everybody listening, know who we're going to ask. So, we don't even got to say it. Everybody knows. So, but well, you know, we've been on here about an hour.
Yep.
And so I think we're coming up on the end, and I really appreciate you being on here, Tater. It was an honor to listen to you speak, man.
Yeah, it was a long time coming.
It was great to be on here, guys. I hope I didn't screw up too bad.
Oh man, it was awesome. So it's always nicer, you know. It's always nice to see somebody other than Sean. So it was
you beat me to it.
I was getting ready to say the same
thing about you. Well, I grew my beard back. What else more do I need?
You got to be quicker now. So
you got a beard.
I can give you a secret, you got to put your little that goat poop on that beard, and it'll grow out a little more, Sean.
Yeah, I hear you.
No. As long as he don't cut it off again, he'll be all right, man. He shaves that down, and that's when it goes real sour. He shaves that beard down and takes the hat off, and it's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. One of these days it'll be white. It'll be gray and white.
Oh, see, that's me already. If I grow it out, it's all white. I got a horseshoe up here, and it just ain't real. So I gotta keep it clean and keep it shaved. So.
What's wrong with the white beard?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just
nothing wrong with
it. It takes me from 60 to 35 when I shave. So
60 to 30.
Yeah.
But
I may not be as old as everybody thinks I am.
See, I'm a lot older than everybody thinks I am. So. But
I don't even know how old I am.
Man,
the woman's about to find out she's a pedophile if I'm 12.
Damn. But anyway, guys, it's been a blast. I've had fun with it. Give me a holler sometime. We might do it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do this again sometime, Tater. So we'll definitely have you on again.
Yep.
Don't feed that hog no more mayonnaise. And before we get out of here, I like to send some prayers out for our boy Moonshiner Sasquatch. He's going through something right now. He could use your prayers, and so thinking about you, Judd. We're all here for you. If you need something, let us know. And I hope everybody has a great night and shine on.
Yes, sir.